Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. I'm going to talk about the Springbok England game. I was super happy that we won the game. So first off the bat, I think that's absolutely wonderful that we won it. Look, I was watching the game and I must admit after the first 15 minutes I think I was going, oh sherbet, here comes another Albany. We're going to be complete hiding, and it was kind of nerve-wracking. And then Faf obviously got that try, and we got some front foot ball and scored the try. That was what was most impressive about that game. It wasn't the victory in itself. It was that we pulled ourselves out of a hole. We actually changed our game plan completely. And if you've noticed in the past, a South African side, or the Springboks, find it difficult to actually pull themselves out of a hole. When they're 20 points behind, it's generally that's it, that's the game over. Even 15 points behind, Springboks haven't traditionally been quite strong. We like to dominate, lead from the front, and that's how we like to play. But that game, we actually did something. We pulled ourselves out of the hole. And also, when normally as a South African side, when we're faced with that kind of thing and we put under that kind of pressure, we normally shrink into our shells. We start playing 10-man rugby. It's always with the forwards going up the middle, and we pulled ourselves out of the hole with 3 winger tries, and that's just as impressive. And so yeah, I'm just going to talk about the game, talk about the last 2 games. And just have a general discussion about the game in general. I enjoyed the game. I really did. I thought England played really well. They had a few defensive lapses. We had some defensive lapses. But overall, it was entertaining. The 55,000 people that at the stadium must have had a really, really good time. Looked very, very festive, and it must have been really nice. Being a South African, being there, enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying the game. Overall, I think it was great for SA Rugby that we pulled it out of the bag. Few areas of concern, but I actually don't think they're such bad areas. Yes, in the beginning, the 2 wings were found wanting with coming up too fast and breaking the defensive line. But I was just thinking about it. I think, jeepers, these are young 20-year-olds. First international game, must be super amped, super excited, and just want to impress, just going forward, trying to impress. That's what happens. These are young guys that are still learning, and I'm sure Billy LaRue must have pulled them to the side and said, "Listen, guys, just chill. Relax, just keep the line." And that's also what's impressive. It's not that we waited till half time to change our game plan. We actually changed it mid-half, and that seldom happens, especially with the Springbok side. Standout performance for me, I think Siya Kolisi is a wonderful captain. I think he led from the front. He was always chatting with the ref. He was always chatting to the guys. So he did his job. He played rugby really well. From that point of view, great leadership. I think the whole leadership group, and we're talking Dwayne Vermeulen, Billy LaRue, I think they stepped up completely. I think Dwayne Vermeulen had a sublime game. He didn't drop any of the high balls, and it was quite nice. It must have been a plan that Dwayne Vermeulen was standing quite far back, because he seemed like the only one that was catching those. Rusty must have identified that's what England were going to be doing, and he stood a lot further back, and he actually caught those balls and took them up. So it rock solid under the thing. So it took the pressure away from those younger guys to actually catch that ball. Another standout performance, I think Faf was incredible. But yeah, look, it's first game back. Let's take it as it comes. I think England are going to bounce back a lot harder than we think. But yeah, also if you look at the game, I think all the tries were scored by backs, which is a very open flowing game. But I was absolutely right. I think the game was won up front. It's quite strange, because we all noticed that when Kitsov came on, we got the a lot of dominance in the scrum. But you actually don't realise is how hard it is to play a prop forward. I played prop at school, and one is a three's a super technical kind of position, and I played one really difficult, and you don't realise how much effort it actually takes out of you scrumming. It's hard work sitting in those scrums and pushing, and even if it looks like it's going nowhere, you got two sides pushing as hard as they can, and it's not going anywhere. So you can just imagine how tough it is in that front row. So for the beast was there for. I actually feel for Carl Sinclair. You have a whole 48 minutes of the beast who's very technical, very strong, didn't give an inch, and then. But if you watch the replay of the game and see how the ball came out quite quickly, and then after about like a couple of seconds, then you saw the South African pack coming through as the ball had come out. So their forwards are on the back foot, ours are on the front foot, even though the ball's out. It's a psychological thing. If you go just going back a few centimeters, you're still going back. So from that point of view, there's a lot of mind games that happen in the front row. That's my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong, but I have played in that position, and I just know how draining it is playing as a prop. So, and then, but like I said, for 48 minutes, and Kitshoff runs onto the field, and jeepers, Watche ran onto the field, and you could see Carl Sinclair look him up and down. And I'm not saying I know Carl Sinclair. He's a tough nut. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley, and sure. And he took one look at Stephen Kitshoff, and he had already lost the scrummaging, because Kitshoff's got quite a strange technique. It's almost like a coil. That's what I'd call it. It's almost like you see him. His back arches just a little bit, and then straight through. And what they wait for the whole scrum to go forward, because then you're entitled to obviously push from one side or the other. You're not just wheeling. So yeah, it was super competitive up front, and even though all the tries were scored at the back, that game was won by front foot ball. It was the forwards doing the hard yards, and like Richie McCaw used to say, you've got to earn your right to go out wide, and South Africa earned their right. So very physical game. I enjoyed it. I think RJ Snowman had a sublime game. Mostert he always does hard work. So yeah, I think Dwayne Vermeulen played well. I predicted Jean-Luc would do a lot better than the game, but I think he was overshadowed by other players. I'm trying to see. Khaleesi had a great game. Faf had 100. Pollard was dependable. Daalendi wasn't really in the game, but he didn't do anything wrong. I'm just trying to think maybe next week playing Esterhuizen might bring in a different dynamic. I'm trying to think what Rossi will do next week, if we'll play Esterhuizen with Creel. Might be, I don't know. It's a really different kind of combination as opposed to Daalendi and Am. Wingers played really well, and like Rossi said after the game, it's okay to let through a few tries if you're scoring tries. So it's okay. The wingers, their defensive lapses, yes, 3 tries against in the defensive lapses, but they got back those 3 tries. So yeah, it's I still think it was young guns, but let's put it into context. We've had 2 internationals. There's obviously Wales, which most people have written off, but it was still an international. We've had 2 internationals. In those 2 internationals, we've had over 15 blooded new players, completely blooded new players, and every single wing who started the game scored tries. That's how many South African sides can say that? Yeah, it's normally we're known to have these strong forwards, and now we're getting these big strong wings that are doing the job. Areas of concern: I think the defense still needs a lot of work, but that defense can be trained. It can be trained completely. Getting up off the ground a lot quicker. I didn't see that many counter rucks, and I know we're quite good at the counter ruck. So I didn't see Sia doing a lot of that. I'm just trying to think what else. From the England side, I think Makavinapola was probably their standout player. Even though obviously he was just rock solid. Probably of the props, he was probably one of the better ones. He from both sides. Carl Sinclair battled, Jamie George battled, but I enjoyed the game. Look, most people look at my channel and it's called Unbiased Rugby, and they may have realised over time that I might be a little bit biased. It goes goes to Springboks, Bulls, and then everybody else. So I generally, it's Bulls are my Super Rugby side, Springboks on my side, and I honestly believe if you're really into a sport or something like that you should have a team that you love and support, and that it creates that passion and that interest. But yeah, I'm happy for the guys. I'm happy that we were able to turn around a game that, for all intents and purposes, we should have, according to the first 15 minutes, we should have lost. Most people that I saw, South Africans, had predicted that the English were going to win. But yeah, you can't write off England. I think next week they're going to come a completely different beast next week. And for England to beat the Springboks next week, they're going to have to front up. I think they're going to have to really get front football. The only way to really get dominance over the Springboks is to dominate. And super happy about the game. What do you guys think? Who do you think was the standout performers of the game? I'm not talking about the tries. The tries were wonderful. It's wonderful to see those tries. But who did the hard work off the ball? Who were the leaders? For me, Dwayne, rock solid game. Sia must have said something to his guys to turn them around, or the whole leadership group did something. Villilu after the game said, his job was to get it to the wingers. His job, that's all his job was. He just sat back and he thought, hey, the wingers are good, let me just give it a perfect ball to be able to score. So overall, I think it was a good performance by the Springboks. I think still there's so much more that we can work on, but finally things feel different, and that's the main thing. It's not that's the same old. And look, even if we're going to lose a few games, it's just we're a young side, but things are different. It's different. It's not the same. But tell me what you guys think of the game in general. Even if you want to comment about the other games that happened over the weekend. Look, looking at the performances between the New Zealand game, the Australian game, and the South African game, I still think we're very far behind New Zealand. I think we're probably about maybe 1 or 2 steps behind Australia, but not by much. I mean, really not by much. I still think we're pretty much on par. The Argentinian game, I still think the Argentinians are a lot better than that game. I think Wales just played them out of that game. But how do you think we compare against, because obviously you've got the Rugby Championship coming up after this. Yeah, I'm really looking far ahead. But for us, that's like the ultimate test. As this must be for the Northern Hemisphere, it's the Six Nations. For us, it's the Championship Series. I always think of it as the Tri-Nations, but Championship, it'll come to me. But overall, it was a wonderful game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had my whole family around with me, which was even more enjoyable. So but listen, guys, thanks for following my channel. I think I've hit 210 subscribers, which is wonderful. I was actually going to do a video for 200, but I just got so excited about the Springbok victory. If you like my video, please share it, please like it, please give your comments below. I really like to know what other people are thinking about our team, where we could improve, where we did really well, and let's have a discussion about it. But listen, guys, have a great coming week, and I'll tune in for later on this week when I do the predictions for the following weekend. But listen, guys, chat soon. Cheers, bye.